Stitch Cutie, I'm Brittany with Stitches of Love Quilting, and it's time to open your Ewe Troupe box and use the cool stuff inside to make your block. So let's review everything you need to have to get started, and then we'll get going. So of course you have all your fabrics from your kit. They're folded just like this. These 4 strips we're going to use at the end because they're the border of the block, so I'm going to set that aside. The fabric, that's our background fabric. It's actually bigger than you need. We're going to iron that and get it ready in just a second. You're going to have all your pre-fused laser cut applique pieces. And I'm going to tell you I'm doing something a little different this month, and that normally I go and peel all the backing off of my pieces, but let me tell you why I didn't this month. So I did for like the white, because that's a pretty easy to tell piece. I know what those pieces are. Let's look at these flowers. All these flowers are different, but they look really similar, right? Like, look at those. So what I did is, instead of peeling the back, I used my placement guide and I put my piece down, and what I did is I put an arrow directing it toward the top and I wrote the number. So as we go to iron our pieces on, it's gonna be really easy. I do this usually only when there's pieces that look a lot alike but are different. So I did that with the purple and the aqua flowers, and then I did it with all the little yellow circles, and I did it with all the little green leaves, okay? So I'm gonna set all my pieces aside. Carefully. And now let's talk about threads. And so let me just, like, how you figure out what piece is what, it's really easy, right? You have your full size placement guide that comes in your box. You truly just take your piece and you're like, oh, where does that go? Right here? Okay, perfect. And so you see I just flip it over, draw the arrow, and write the number. And you'll see in a minute as we start putting all these pieces in, that's really gonna be a cool little trick. And again, I don't do that on most months because you don't need to. Most pieces are really easy to tell apart. This little guy, or this lady, Pretty Petunia, she has 58 pieces to make her. She's a complicated lady. So I wanted to make my life easy and pass along that tip to you to make your life easy. Okay, so let's set that aside for now. Now let's talk about the fun thread colors that you need for this block. Look how pretty those are. Aren't they nice and springy? So we need white 1001. Again, these are all the sulky 40 weight threads. And then you want to have the light teal, which is 1045. Then we have, look how pretty this light purple is. You know, we don't use this light purple very much. It's like a periwinkle, but look how pretty that is. 1254. Then we have 0567, this yellow butterfly gold we use all the time. Then we have our 1177, one of my favorite greens ever. And of course, black 1005, which we use all the time. Now, we do have a thread kit available for you. Look at this beautiful thread kit. It's flying off the shelves. I know y'all are loving it. And what I really love is you get a ton of thread colors for a really great price point because they are the smaller spools. So this is really fun to have for each project. I really like it. You can always, though, grab, we have full kits that are the full size, and you can see, this is one that is mine because I took a thread color out, but it comes in a cute little box like that. So check out on our website, lots of thread kits, because I know y'all are always asking, and I want to make sure you know all the options you have, but I'm just loving these. Okay, so let's get started. What I'm going to do first is load the white thread in my machine, and I'm going to prompt it to do the first step, which is going to be a T in the middle of our hoop. That's going to be a guide for where to put our fabric. So again, load your white thread and do that first step. Okay, so when you look in your hoop, see this T? It's centered nicely. It's just a nice basting stitch to give us a guide. So what you're going to do is take your fabric, in the pattern, it says you need 11 by 11. We actually cut a little bit bigger. So I am going to just press it, a little bit of starch, and oh, I want a little more, kind of missed right there. And it doesn't matter if it's exactly perfectly 11 by 11 because we're going to trim it down a lot. So you just want to make sure that you have that big. And you can see when you starch, you know, it's not going to be as perfectly lined up as before I starch it, but that doesn't matter, right? It only matters once you have it trimmed down. Then the accuracy really matters. Right now, it's still in the works. So get it nice and pressed. So I like to starch, not a ton, but you know, my whole thing is though, whatever I decide to starch on a project, I want to stay that amount of starch throughout the whole thing so that all my fabric feels the same. Okay, so that is pressed. Now we're going to get it ready to line up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is fold it in half. Right, and you can see I ironed it so it's not perfectly lining up on each edge. That doesn't matter. Don't worry, okay? So I have it folded in half one time. Now we're going to quarter it one more time this way. And I'm just going to give it a little press. And now we're going to line it up on our hoop. So I'm going to take my hoop, and I turn my hoop sideways just so I can stay in the frame for you. So we're going to line it up at one corner of the T. Then we unfold it one way and unfold it this way. Now I'll just give a little press. There we go. And we're going to tape it in place. That's one thing I didn't say at the beginning of the video. I like to use this 3M transport tape. It's basically like medical tape. You can use home office tape. You can use whatever you like to tape this in place. And see, just like that, we're ready to go. Now we're going to keep this white thread on for several steps. Okay, so we have that sulky 1001 white on our machine, and we're going to keep that until I notate otherwise for you. Okay, so the first step that the machine is going to do now, so technically the second step, it's going to give us the first few outlines, right? So we're going to get one leg, the little base down here, a flower, two arms, and then another flower. We'll be back to iron those on. Okay. Okay, so see what you have on your hoop? You have several pieces to iron on. Now there's some pieces that have some overlap, right? So you want to make sure that you do it in the right order. So if you have your placement guide out, it'll be easy to tell because you're going to follow the numbers. So the first piece we're going to put down is number 1. So we're just going to start building our layers. And I love it because everything is pre-fused and laser cut. And so we don't have to do any kind of tack down stitching or trimming. It's really fun. So the next piece is number 2. So see how out of all those flowers, it really is easy to find my flower because I already have number 2. So to peel your backing, you just sort of press down from fabric side up and pull. So now get this little guy lined up right there. And give it a little press. So now the next piece we're going to do is number 4. And so that's a leg. Let's talk about the white pieces. So you'll notice that you have 2 number 4s. And what we're going to do is iron them on top of each other, and that creates a double lined leg. That way you don't see on something that's white any of the color behind it. It really matters basically on the face of our little May sheep. So I just put one in place, iron it down, and then just take the second one and iron it right over. And you can do this trick on any kind of applique project. I love it. Okay, so now we're gonna move up to the top. Let's take a look. The next number we're gonna do is number 8. And it's another white piece, so there's 2 of them. So let me just grab those. And we'll put the one in place. There we go. And then the second piece right there. So easy to do, right? Now, if we look, we're going to do number 10 next. So just put one piece down. There we go. And the second, oh look, see, I slid my iron. Could you tell I slid my iron? And I pulled my piece. Not good. Should never slide your iron because that's what happens. And then get this lined up right on top of this. There we go. And now the final piece of this step is number 12. So again, find your piece that you've labeled 12. I have my arrow going up. Since my hoop is sideways, it's going to be that way. And I just kind of keep it in that position so I don't have to like turn it around as much to get it into place, right? The little arrow helps. And you'll see a lot of months I don't bother doing that because it's easy to tell what piece is what. But this little guy, or this little girl, like I said, has 58 pieces, so quite a bit. Okay, so now leave that white thread on your machine. This is what your hoop should look like. We're gonna put it back on and go on to the next step. Okay, so see, we have more pieces outlined. So what we're gonna do is just start with the beginning number, which in this case is going to be piece number 3. So just go over to your pieces, and again, I have it labeled, see, number 3. All right, and we're gonna put that right in place. And it's a little bit of a wonky circle, so you just turn it and make sure it's in the right spot, and we'll give it a press. Boop. Now the next piece that we're gonna do is number 5, which is the green, I guess a hoof or a shoe. What would you call that? I guess a hoof. Do sheep have hoofs? I don't know. And then we'll put this in place. All right. Tap that down. There we go. So now the next piece is number 6, and this is the last of his or her legs and arms. So again, we have 2, just like on the last step. We're gonna put one down right in place, and then we'll put this second piece, number 6, right on top. There we go. And now we'll work our way up. Let's see what those numbers are. The next number we're gonna do is number 9. So the top left. So again, I had number 9 written on it, easy peasy. Take your backing off. And then you just wanna make sure you get it in the right position. Just turn it a little till it fits just right. Perfect. There we go. And now tap it into place. Now we're going to do number 11, which is the top right of her little hands, and put that in place. And again, it's not a symmetrical piece, so you want to make sure you have it oriented the right way. Oh my gosh. This is gonna be cute. Okay, and now we're going to do number 13, which is the flower center here. See, isn't this easy? It's like applique by numbers, embroidery by numbers. I love it. Get that right in place. Tap it down. And now we get to put the body on, number 14. See, number 14. All right, and this I did already peel the backing. So you're just gonna turn it the right way. How much fun. I love this quilt. Every sheep is its own unique color of this pixie dot fabric, which is just such a fun fabric. It's a QT Fabrics, which we started working with them for this fabric. Like, we saw this and we fell in love, and we had to have it. So once you get that in place all the way around, just work your way up, ironing it down. There we go. Now we're gonna put this back on with white thread, and oh my goodness, the machine is gonna stitch a bunch of flower outlines for you, okay? So enjoy while the machine stitches, and we'll be back to iron on our next round of pieces. Okay, take a look at your hoop. We have a lot of pieces to iron on, and we're gonna be really strategic about how we iron them on. We're gonna start with our lowest number and go to the highest number, okay? That way, where there's some overlap of the flowers, we have it in the right order. Again, for this block, I like to have my guide out, and I'm gonna keep it with me this whole time. So we're gonna start with our very first and lowest number, which is number 7. So, see, don't y'all love that we numbered them this month? Well, you numbered it, but I like doing that. So we're gonna just put this right on here. She's starting to look like a cutie little girl. Pretty petunia. I love it. Okay, so that's number 7. Then our next highest number that we're gonna go with is 15, and we're just gonna work our way in a circle, okay? So let's just start with our pile. So we have 15, it's right here. So see, I did my numbers and I had my arrow just to guide me. And we'll put that right in place. So it makes something that has a lot of pieces really easy to do. All right. Now we're gonna do number 17, which is right here. Our purple flower. Cool. I love how they're all perfect fits. Now we're gonna go to 19. You'll notice we're skipping a number. That's because we don't have the outline yet for the yellow centers, right? So we're building our layers. So now we do number 19, which is another little purple, and I didn't look at my arrow. Oh, but I was holding it right. Good, good, good. There we go. Now we're gonna do 21. And you'll see on 21, look at that. We're not going the very next flower. It jumps over one, right? Because it's underlapping those next two flowers. So we'll go over to right here, peel the backing, and iron that in place. Easy peasy. There we go. I wish I had like a fun story to tell y'all while we're ironing this on. I don't at the moment. What's funny right now? Well, I will say I think I'm doing pretty good on conquering how to be my own nail salon person. I'll tell you my trick. This is number 23, by the way. So my trick is that I have ordered that dip. You know, you dip, if you've ever been to the salon, they dip your, they put like, looks like clear nail polish, but it's like an activator, and they put it on, and then you dip it in the powder, and you come back out, and then it like magically is hard. I did that, and I think I did all right. Okay, so that was 23. Now we're gonna do 25. So we'll come down here. There we go. I will tell you though, it takes me several hours to do my nails. Whereas when you go to the salon, they do it in like 20 minutes. So that's kind of funny. Okay, so after 25, our next number is 27 right here. So put that right in place. There we go. Oh, I can't wait to see this all stitched. Aren't you excited? I mean, look at her. She's just covered in flowers. I love it. Actually, at our old office, we used to have really beautiful petunias growing. And our very good friend, I call her Mama Fortune. Her name is Suzanne. She helped us take care of them. / she took care of them. We're bad at remembering to water them. And they were just so pretty. You drive by the office and you see all these pretty petunias blooming. They're the super petunias, you know, the ones that spread. So that was 29. Now we're gonna do 31. That was really pretty. The way our office is now, you can't really have like window boxes like we could before. So, but you know, you get more space, so it's worth it. There we go, so 31. Next will be 33. See, isn't this easy? We're just working our way around the circle. There we go. And put that right in place. These are such fun colors too. I really like these two colors. So after 31, we're gonna do 35. I'm sorry, that was 33. I was like, wait, how are we jumping to 35? But that was 33. Now we're doing 35. Put that right here. After that will be 37. And just peel that right into place. There we go. And after 37 comes 39. And then we're gonna jump to now ironing on all our little green pieces, right? There's a bunch of them. So what we're gonna do with the green pieces, well, first let me show you where we are so far, because look how cute. I mean, does that look so adorable or what? So now our green pieces, we're gonna start at the top, which is where the smallest numbers are. We're gonna start with number 44, work our way around the outer circle of the green pieces, and then we have one piece in the center, number 58. So let's get 44. And I just have it laid out to the side with my numbers up, so I'm just gonna grab them as I go. So So again, normally I have all my pieces peeled, but this time I wanted to use the numbers and show you that trick. So I know this video is gonna be a little longer, but hopefully you are sewing and ironing right alongside me. Now we want 45. I'll tell you, a minute ago it was really funny. I always get my pieces in order before I turn the camera back on, or usually I do. And I had to panic because I couldn't find 2 pieces. Well, I dropped them on the floor. But for a minute, I was like, oh my gosh, they're not in the kit. What are we gonna do? Y'all, I just dropped them. It was pretty funny. I had a true little like moment of panic. But that happened off camera, so you don't get to see it. But silly me, I'll tell you about it. Alrighty, so this is number 46. See, isn't this easy just to put them right in place? Now we're gonna get 47. It's very calming to me to do this. I love doing the machine embroidery. I really do. How much fun I get to do it all day. All right, 47. Now we're gonna jump over here. It's 48 and 49. So little bitty 48. And then if you have like little tweezers, sometimes with the little pieces, that's helpful too, so you don't accidentally burn yourself. But that's why I love to use this little steam fast travel iron, because it's much easier to like manipulate it in the hoop versus using like, you know, your regular iron that you use for piecing and things like that. All right, I know Mom was just talking to someone about Laura Star irons. Y'all, they are the best. They're awesome, but they're good for like, you know, really ironing and piecing, not for the embroidery like this. So next we're gonna go to 50 and 51. Boop. So I'll just put that, move my iron so I don't burn myself. So number 50 right in place. And now 51, whoa, 51's a big one. It's kind of like she has like leaves bouncing off of her because she's happy and excited. Super cute. And again, this art is from our friend Amy Brucken, who is an amazing cross-stitch designer and of course just all-around artist. So now we're gonna do 52, 53, and 54. So it's so much fun to get to collaborate with her on this because one, she's just super fun. And then two, I know Mom has so much fun working with her art. There we go. Mom being my mom, Julie. I forget not all of y'all know everything about my life. Now number 53. And then, so cute. And then we'll do number 54. We're almost done ironing on this step, y'all. I know there's a lot to iron on her. More than most of the blocks. But it's so cute. It's worth every second of ironing, huh? There we go. Now we jump over here, and this is number 55. Boop. We're almost there. So number 55. And then we have number 56. I'm gonna just lay a few down at one time because it's getting hot for my fingers. Number 56. There we go. Now number 57. I love doing this though. Oh my gosh, I could do it all day. All right, so let's zap all 3 of those at one time. Whoosh. And now take a look in the center. There's one little leaf right in the center, number 58. And put that right on her. It's like all the little details of these that are so cute, huh? What's next month? I can't remember. Super cute though. Okay, whew, we did it. We ironed everything on for this step. So this is what you have right now. Almost all the way done, but not quite. So we're gonna keep the white thread on, we're gonna put this back on, and the machine is now gonna give us a few more applique outlines. Okay, so we have a whole bunch of pieces outlined again, right? So we're gonna do like we've been doing the whole time. We're gonna start with the smallest number left and go to the largest number, and that way we make sure we have all of our overlaps and underlaps correct. So where we start with this is actually piece number 16, which is right up here on this flower. These are all our cute little yellow circles and ovals. They're really fun. So you just get it right inside. I'm gonna put a few down, why not? I'll be brave. Number 18 is right here. There we go. Ooh. And then we have number 20. They're so cute, these little pieces. All right, let's iron those down. Bloop. Now, after 20 comes 22, and 22, remember, it skips a little bit down to this one because it's the underlapped one, so the numbers follow suit. Remember the big flower was underneath it? So, do 22. And then we do 24, which jumps back up to this purple flower. There we go. And we'll iron those in. I'm gonna show you a little trick too. Like, I don't have that one quite where I want it. If you take tweezers while it's still hot, see, you can just very gently move that piece. Now you don't wanna cut your piece or anything like that. And then I just sort of zap it again. Cool, huh? So now we're on number 26, which is this little flower down here. And now 28 is our flower right here. And again, I have mine turned sideways just because it fits in the frame, fits on my Steady Betty. So if you need to turn your hoop sideways to follow along with me, definitely do that, but you should be fine with yours however you have it. Next is 30, right here on the aqua flower. Boop. There we go. So let's zap these into place. Boop. Now we're on to 32, which is right here, our purple flower. Yeah, it is. Sorry. I'm looking at it sideways too. So 32. Boop. You want to make sure you have your oval turned the right way. Now we're going to do 34, which is right here. Boop. And just get that turned in to place. There we go. Zap that one and that one. There we go. So next our number is 36, which is this flower right here. The one that's kind of under the face, or is going to be under the face once we put the face on. And number 38 right here. And then we have number 40, which is our remaining flower stitched, flower center. Boop. There we go. So let's zap those down. Now we get to put the face on. Haha, that's fun. So just like with the rest of the white pieces on this kit, you have two of the same piece, right? So we're just going to take one and put it in place. Now, anytime you have a piece that has like little jut outs, like his ears, you want to make sure you get it all lined up. And then I start from one side and work my way over. So, see, that way I make sure everything stays nice and in place as I go. And we'll repeat. See how you can see those dots through it once we put that second piece on? Look at that. Magic. Cool, huh? And so easy. It doesn't take any extra work just to iron on a second piece of the same thing. Love it. Okay. And now we have one more piece on this step, and that is number 42. So see, handy dandy. Get that in place. So cute. See, it's like her little hat. I love it. Okay, so now we're going to keep the white thread on for another step because we have one more little flower center that we need to have an applique outline for, okay? Okay, so see, we have that one outline. This is our very last applique piece to iron on. Woohoo! We did it, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. Now, from here on out, it's just the fun part. You get to watch your machine do all the work for you. And I'm going to tell you, from here on out, I'm going to take my hoop on and off the arm of my machine so that I can talk about what color we're putting on and what's about to stitch. For the rest of the process though, you don't need to take your hoop on and off. You can leave yours on the arm of your machine the whole time. So we're gonna leave the white thread on for one more step, and the machine is gonna do all the white stitching for us, which includes her little legs, both of her arms, and then around her face. Okay, take a look. All your white is stitched. Let me bring it up close so you can see. Look at that perfection. Doesn't that make you so happy? Okay, so now we're gonna do another color change, or rather our first color change, and that is to the 1045, the light aqua color, or light teal, and it's gonna do a really cool a straight stitch inside all your flowers, and then a buttonhole stitch around this base. Okay, look, her little happy aqua flowers are all stitched. Let's take a look. See, we made the digitizing match how my mom, Julie, stitched it. So that's fun. That's how we do all the files. We try and make it match what she did so it looks like you did it on your sewing machine. Now we're gonna put on, I'm so excited to use this color, this really pretty periwinkle color, 1254. And just like it did on the aqua flowers, it's gonna do that really pretty straight stitch on all of our purple flowers. Okay, how cute is this looking? Look at all those flowers. So happy. Okay, now we're going to put on the infamous 0567, the butterfly gold. I say infamous because I feel like I use this on every single project. Mom always uses it, so therefore I always use it. So we're gonna load this, and all of the flower centers are gonna get the cutest little buttonhole stitch. Okay, don't you wanna squeal? Look how cute the little yellow circles are stitched. I love this little buttonhole stitch. I think I programmed it to be about 1.5 by 1.5 or 2 by 1.5, just really cute little stitching. So now we're gonna change to 1177, our avocado, and all of the green is gonna get the same fun buttonhole stitch. Okay, take a look, all our green is stitched. Doesn't it look so good? So now the finishing touch is to load the black thread, the 1005, and the machine is going to do the two little eyes in the mouth. Okay, how cute is Miss Petunia? Look at her little face. Everything is stitched so cute-like. So now let's trim our block, and then you'll be able to jump over to the next video and piece your block together. So let's make some space for trimming. So I'm just gonna move my Steady Betty out of the way. This is my Steady Betty, by the way. I love working with this. And now you can see I have my rotary mat under here. I have my cutting mat, my cutter, and my ruler. So what we're gonna do is just, let's take the tape off, and we're gonna take our stabilizer from the back. So just turn it over, and we start pulling. You'll see where that little T that helped us position is. We're just gonna gently cut that. So cute, I love it. So we just take this off all the way around. There we go. Just keep pulling it. And then when you get to that T again, see, you just wanna gently snip that thread. Don't cut your background fabric, you'd be real, real sad. And just go around. You can obviously put a little more detail in it than I am in taking it off. And then trim that thread right there from the T. All right, so now let me tell you how I like to trim it. So you can do it a couple different ways. You can use your placement guide and measure and say, okay, you're going to the outer line first off. You could say, okay, I need to go a little more than 1/2 inch, down. And you could measure on all 4 sides, and get it positioned. What I like to do is put my fabric right over it, and you can see, I can see through it. I don't know if you'll be able to see through it on the camera, but I get this totally into position. Let's get that. So I'm just going around and making sure Miss Petunia is in position right there. So you just kind of pull it back, and you can say, okay, line it up right there. Get her hand right in place. Okay, so once you know that she's in place, there's a little trick. You can tape it to your paper if you want. Just do a little tape. And what I'm gonna do is use my ruler, and I'm gonna trace my trim line. So again, the trim line is that bigger outer line, okay? The outermost line. You can also do this on top of a light box so you can see even better. But you're gonna line this up right on that line. There we go. And what you do, I just wiggled my ruler. No wiggling of the ruler. That's not good, right? And then just make sure I know I'm on that line. Yep. Now I take a little friction pin and I'm just gonna trace my line all the way across. See that? So now I'm gonna have a perfect trim line. Can you see that black line? You might be able to see my placement guide. And now what I'm gonna do is the same thing on this side. And I'm using the lines down here to make sure I stay straight on this bottom line as well. So just hold that into place. Need to go over just a hair. Right there. Perfect. And trace right here. Now we're just gonna do the remaining 2 lines, right? Easy peasy. Now, of course, there's a million different ways you can trim. This is just my preferred way, because I like to make sure that I'm gonna be right on. There we go, and up here comes my head. Sorry, y'all. I can't help it. Y'all are gonna see my gray hairs that are starting to come. All right, nice and straight here. Perfect. And then one more line up here. Here comes my head again. Make sure you're nice and straight. See how straight I am there? Perfect. And then what you can do, I like to do it this way because one, I'm using my placement guide. I know my trim line's right. And that way I preserve my pattern. All right, that's why we like to give you full-size placement guides, right? Really handy, huh? And keep all your patterns in your binder, remember? Okay, so now all we have to do is trim her. How cute is she? So same thing, the lines that I drew, I'm just gonna trim on them now. Easy as pie. And like I said, then you'll be able to jump to the next video and watch how we sew the borders on the blocks. And you want to pay attention and watch that every month and read the directions every month, because sometimes the top and bottom border are like the shorter pieces and sometimes the top and border are the longer pieces, right? So you're going to have to pay attention to that because it does flip-flop every month. But again, the instructions are really clear. We tell you which colors where, and then we have the video tutorial for it. Oh my gosh, look, once she's trimmed, ah, she's so cute. I love her. Absolutely adorable. Okay, let's take a look at her. All trimmed. Hi, Miss Petunia. How cute is she? Okay, I hope you had as much fun making her as I did. And again, let's go on to the next video and put some borders on our Miss Petunia block.